As someone who has never worked with AI tools or AI editing apps, or even any type of editing app that wasn't TikTok, I found this project to be very overwhelming at first and kind of difficult because I have never really worked with technologies in the way that I have this past semester. Throughout this project, I have seen some extreme growth in myself in my editing and AI use, especially in my own life and in the classroom. So I'm going to talk to you about my first week of when I actually filmed my first 5 videos and the experience I felt from then to my experience now. So I said growing up I never got into filming, so I have very little experience when it comes to using any sort of cameras besides my iPhone. When I first opened the 360 camera and GoPro, I was quite intimidated, which I still kind of am. There was so many parts to assemble and apps to download that I felt so overwhelmed at the first glance. I had to do some online research that would give me step-by-step instructions on how to set the camera and make sure it's connected to my phone via Bluetooth. And then once I watched a YouTube video, I was confident that I set my camera correctly. Now it was time to learn how to use all that. I'm still learning how to properly use the cameras, but I am certain after a few trials, I'll be adequate with my camera abilities. So for my first 5 videos, I did plan out what I was going to do based on what I had learned during the day. I created 2 videos on camera demonstrations, and I created a video on a lesson that I learned in my classroom. Now to talk about my most recent reflection on my AI use. Instead of talking about the cameras, I talked about how I used AI in my videos. So this reflection talks about how the week I focused on producing videos quickly and efficiently. Instead of focusing on educational stuff, I focused on how to make my videos way quicker and take less time using those AI apps. So I wanted to see if I could use those AI apps to create my videos, so I found a tool on CapCut that allowed me to give a description of the type of children's book I wanted, and then 5 minutes later, this AI app gave me an entire children's book with pictures and a voiceover as well, and I was able to download that. But I did say I wish there was a little bit more tone and emotion in the AI characters. There wasn't really any in the book, so I had to go through and edit that a bit myself to make them sound happier, have different emotions, because robots in this app don't have very human emotions, and it makes it sound a little monotone in the moment. Overall, I love this experience, and I would highly recommend it to anybody else. It's so important to know how to use technology in today's world because we don't know what's going to happen in the classroom, so it's always best to be prepared. I thought I would go back and show you my first ever video that I created where I used how overlay and I learned how to lay pictures and do all that different type of stuff. And then my last video where I actually used full AI images to create my own children's story with a full-on AI character voiceover. And this only took me about 10 minutes, where my previous video took me probably about 45 minutes long. So again, don't be scared to learn how to use AI. Use it to your advantage. Make sure that you're using AI the best way you can and make your students a lot happier and more engaged in your lessons.